I want to show you guys. So just to explain you guys what we're going to be going through tonight, we have 3 topics that I want to discuss with all of you. The first one is going to be the importance of leadership in PlanetSide 2. The second topic is the responsibilities as a platoon leader or as a squad leader. And the last one, the most important one, the one that I'm going to take you guys in a ride for us to discuss some stuff, is battle efficiency and strategy. So the good and dirty on the battlefield, how you guys should respond to an attack, how to win alerts. We're going to go through all of that, okay? So before we start, there are a couple of things that I need to discuss with you guys. This is for us to construct a more healthy future for the leadership of the Legion. And the first one is a ping that Quadstar did on Discord a couple days ago, and it's about backseat platoon leading. And I know we all do it from time to time. If you guys are not familiar with the term, backseat platoon leading is when you are in a platoon and you are not the platoon leader and you try to do his job for him. By that, I mean you start telling platoon leader where to go. You start telling the platoon leader that this space is being taken, that we're going to lose the alert if we don't do this or that. And you are not the platoon leader. So what I want to try to create here is a good and healthy way for you guys to do that without... God damn it.
I just watched that.
Gotta God damn it. I'm okay. Don't worry about it.
Had a little fall there.
That was a nice one. As I was saying, it's
yes,
okay.
You could say he went into Orbi.
As I was saying, let's not be toxic. But now for real, guys, there are 3 things concerning that. Wait. Blazed, yeah, I need someone to invite Blazed on the Moose. Give me a second here. We still have someone that's not here. Just a second. No, it's okay. This first part is not that big of a deal. It's fine. Blazed, you joined late, man. We are all on VR training. We are doing some beginning topics here, but you didn't lost much. Join us here.
Here we go again.
Okay.
Watch out.
Guys, as I was saying, what I want you guys to do is every time you are in a platoon and you think that your platoon leader is not doing a good job at platoon leading, what I want everyone to do is type to him in text what you think. Okay, so if your platoon leader is throwing an alert or he wants to build a base in the enemy warp gate while you should be trying to defend an important choke point, do not fight him in the voice channels, because that's bad for him, that's bad for you, and that's bad for the Legion. We gotta try to discipline ourselves in the leadership so we can get better for everyone, for our own faction, and for our outfit as well. For all of you guys, when you are platoon leading, and I cannot stress this enough, if you are platoon leading and you have someone constantly messing with you, you have someone telling you what to do, someone bothering your platoon, please kick him out of the platoon. Do not worry about it. It's completely justified and it's a practice that we need to get more. If someone is bothering you in the voice channels, just kick him out. It's no big deal. He can join something else, okay? And if you have a problem with someone, this is the last one, bring it to the officers, okay? And that brings us to, like, I believe the most important part of SKL that most of the outfit is not a part of. You guys need to join us on Discord, everyone. I know most of you guys are not in there, and I highly recommend you guys to join. Discord is the place where we schedule our events, where you guys can talk to the high-ranking officers on SKL, where you guys can find material, the specialist divisions, everything the Legion has, you guys can find on Discord. So I would like to start by asking all of you to join us on Discord if you guys are not there. And Quadstar, I'm gonna ask you to get the Discord link for me in the outfit description and put it in platoon chat. If you guys are not there yet, all you gotta do is copy the outfit link that's gonna pop up in your platoon chat, in your text right there. Copy that to your browser and it's gonna open up the Discord for SKL. I'm gonna give you guys a quick tour in the end of the training, but that's the first thing I want you guys to do, okay? Now, any questions about this, I'll let you all discuss this that I said, and then we're gonna go to the first topic.
I got nothing.
I'll start repairs.
Yeah, ditto.
Okay, looks like we're clear on that one. Not Costar. Noah, can you get me the link for the Discord and post it on Platoon chat so we can get people to join while we're going through the first one? And yeah, it's gonna pop up. You guys can wait for it. It's gonna be there. And now for the first topic, guys. First thing I'd like to discuss with you all is the importance of leadership in PlanetSide 2. And this is more of a philosophical discussion more than a practical one. It's just so you guys can get a feel for what you are really doing when you lead in PlanetSide 2, okay? So what I want you guys to keep in mind is let's try to make a mental exercise. Think about yourself coming to play PlanetSide 2 and there's no voice channel and there's no platoon system. There's no way for you to play in a squad, there's no way for you to play in a platoon. I don't know about you guys, but for me, PlanetSide 2 would just die. It would be a game I would check once and never go back to it again. Platoons and squads in PlanetSide 2 are a center feature of the game itself. Especially for an outfit like SKL, where we are all about numbers. The importance of platoon leading and squad leading is what keeps the game alive, I would say.
I can heal you.
And not only that, but map presence of the platoon leader, overall, like the way you like the person, the way you like your platoon leader. I have people joining my platoons specifically because of me from time to time. They come to play the game specifically because they know I'm on. And that's something that happens not only in PlanetSide 2. As a leader, you are offering an experience to whoever player is joining you in the play session. It is similar to when you play Dungeons and Dragons, for example. Whoever here ever had the experience of playing Dungeons and Dragons, the tabletop game, it's the same thing for the Dungeon Master. You know, you are there because the experience the leader gives you. So it's a very important role for everyone. And what I want you guys to keep in mind always is that you have this responsibility towards your platoon, but as a platoon leader you have something more as well. SKL is the biggest outfit in the Emerald server right now. There's no doubt about it. We have some bigger ones like VSA, ISV that is, but current members, SKL is the biggest one. We can field multiple platoons during prime times. The stuff that we can do with our public platoon is fucking crazy. And when you are platoon leading, if you decide to just yeet and go do something that has nothing to do with the rest of the faction, you are not only throwing your own platoon into something that's useless, but you are also condemning the rest of the faction to lose. Doesn't matter how much they put an effort into a fight or into a battle, they are not gonna win because you took away such a big portion of the faction with yourself. Okay? And the last thing about the importance of platoon leading is mentorship. And I cannot stress this enough as well. Me and Noah, we started the mentor division in SKL specifically because PlanetSide is such a hard learning curve game. When a new player joins PlanetSide 2, you just get thrown into a map with nowhere to go. There's no tutorial anymore. And even when there was, the new players had no idea what they were doing. Most of the times, the platoon leader is literally the best experience the new player can get in a platoon. I know that for most of you guys, probably your first experience in a competent platoon was what actually kept you in the game.
I can heal you.
It was for me and it was for a lot of people. They come into the game for the first time, and if they get lucky enough to fall into an SKL platoon that's being well led, they will get a good experience, they will get a good feel for the game, and you guys should always be trying to help the new players. This is a part that we can take as players that's also helpful for the game as a whole. When you guys are playing platoon leaders, you can literally help the game to stay alive. If you guys enjoy the game as much as I do, that's something that everyone should be doing at all times. Keep your squads always as mentors if you can. If you see a new player that's struggling with something, always try to help him out, because PlanetSide 2 is all about getting as much people as we can into the game, and new players should always be a focal point for us as leadership and as veterans of the game. Okay? So that's going to be the first topic, guys. That's the importance of leadership for you guys right there. Does anyone have any questions about that? Anything to add? Noah, would you like to add something? No, yeah, it's fine. It's mostly so we can have it like so some other people can check it out later if they want, and also for the high-ranking officers if they want to see what we're doing here, so they can get a feel for the first training session that we had. That way we can, and even for me too, so I can adapt and evolve in my own training skills right here. So okay, no questions about that topic right there, guys. Everything clear?
Yeah.
I mean, comment.
Wait, just really quick.
I can
do something.
I can definitely confirm that. Yeah, it is very important for new players. It's what kept me enjoying the game.
And I think it also impresses them when there's a fluid cohesion between inner outfit operations. Like when you have two outfits working together and staying in comms, like on Discord, for example.
Yeah, this is what we are always striving to do. You know, the stuff that goes on command chat, for example, is a great example. When we have like multiple SKL platoons and a VKTZ platoon and B-Way and another outfit that's doing air stuff, all coordinated in outfit chat, there's no way the enemy can beat us. Like, no way in 100 years. So that's what we are always striving to achieve, like this level of coordination, this level of team play. That's why it's so important to get people trained and get people to understand how to do this stuff. And as I said, as a platoon leader, you have the highest priority in the game. Like if you are platoon leading during certain times, you are literally the most important player in the entire server. It's not to be undertaking the importance of platoon leader. Okay? Any other comments, guys?
No.
We can make this a discussion, everyone. You guys can talk as well.
I don't think there's a law of debate on that. It's just factually true.
Yeah, you're doing a great job.
Sounds good, sounds good. Okay, so now moving on to the next one, and this one is more about what you guys should do. I'm gonna give you guys a perspective of what the leadership in SKL should be approved to be, what you guys should always be striving to do, and those are the responsibilities of a platoon leader. Okay, so now we just talked about how important the platoon leader is. What is the importance of your position as a platoon leader? To start off, we're going to talk about the impact that you have in your population, right? So at any time, a continent usually has somewhere between 100 to 200, 300 players in each faction. Peak times on INDAR, for example, you can get to 300 players on during prime time. So if you are leading a platoon that's almost 50 people, you are literally controlling a huge portion of that population. That means that if you have a cohesive platoon during prime time, you literally have control of like 1/4 or 1/5 of the entire VS population on your hand. And what we need to discuss here is actually something that's been happening on SKL. You guys probably have been to a platoon that did this in the last couple weeks, and we got Costar to post about it on Reddit as well. And it's about what the platoon leader decides to do, okay? So here's the thing. If you do not have an alert in a continent, the continent is not with the alert on, you guys can do whatever you judge is going to be more fun for your platoon, okay? You guys should always have only two things in mind when you are platoon leading. The first priority of a platoon leader should always be fun. Is your platoon having fun? Are you guys getting farmed? Is your platoon getting disappointed? If yes, you should do something else. If no, you should keep doing it because it's fun. So fun should always be the main factor in deciding what your platoon should be doing. But the second factor should always be winning. By no means a platoon leader should throw an alert by will. You should not decide to lose a base by will, unless you are trying to get an alert started. If you want to get warp gated, for example, so that the other faction can start an alert, that's different. But if you are purposefully YOLOing around and throwing the alert for your entire faction, you are doing a terrible job, not only for your platoon, but for the entire population on the continent. And that's what you guys need to keep in mind. You need to put your platoon first. The priority should always be those in your platoons. But what you gotta keep in mind is that by taking your platoon away from an alert, you are also denying the rest of your faction the win of an alert. And an alert can be like 300 certs, 250 certs. That for a new player, a player that does not have membership, that's a huge amount, you know? And if you are taking that away from them by just building a huge base, or by just warp gating the enemy, or by doing whatever the fuck you're doing, you are doing a bad job as a platoon leader. You should not be doing that at all. As I said, as a platoon leader, you are literally the most important player in your faction, okay? It does not matter if the NC wins a battle. It does not matter if you have an elite fit with 12 heavy assaults wiping your asses out of a base. If in the end of the day, you win the alert with your platoon, okay? PlanetSide 2 is not a game with matches. There are no win conditions in PlanetSide 2. You do not get to win the game. It's just constant fight. That's how the game was built. But there is one small win condition, and that is the alert. There's no discussion. By the end of an alert, whoever wins is the best faction. You won the alert. That's it. That's the game condition right there. So if you are not in an alert, you can feel free to do whatever you want. You can go farm on T-alloys. You can take your squad to do a harasser race. You can do Saving Private Orbi, as I said, as I did several times. You can do several things, but if the alert is on, you should do your best. You should try as hard as you can to get your platoon to the win, to get your faction to the win. You're not only helping yourselves, but you're helping all of the players on the continent at that time, okay? Now let me check here if I have something else to say about this. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I guess that's what I wanted to touch on as a responsibility. Anyone have any questions about that? Any points that you guys would like to discuss?
Just one thing. I've been a TR main for the last couple months, and it's so clear how impactful SKL is on the map. People will say how you don't have skilled players. Skilled players makes all the difference. I'm a pretty skilled player, and I make no difference. It's all in the platoons, 100%.
And also A7, right? There's 3 currency rewards for alerts. You get A7, certs, and ISO. So yeah, it is the win condition. There's no discussion about it. And as Calamity said, it does not matter how skilled of a player you are. You cannot go against the importance of a platoon leader. You cannot make as big of a difference as a platoon leader with a good strategy can make in the game. Platoon leader can win an alert. A good skilled player can also win the alert, but he's gonna have to do a hell of a lot more work to do it. So yeah, you guys should always keep that in mind. The alert is the win condition, okay? So if there's not an alert going on, feel free to do whatever you want. Feel free to do whatever your squad wants to do, whatever you judge is more fun for your squad to do. But if there is an alert going on, and if there is still hope of winning an alert, because there's some points that you really can't do anything else. Yeah, to whoever needs to leave, feel free to do so, guys. Don't worry about it. We're gonna have it recorded. You guys can check it out later. Feel free to do so. Thank you all for participating. And yeah, if you can, always go for the alert. Should always be your main focus. You should always be striving your best to get it done. Okay? So, any more questions about that? Anyone would like to...
So in less in a platoon sense, but if you're running a specialist operation, should you have the same priority set, or if I'm running something like Ghost or Raptors, would it be okay for me to take a 12-man behind lines and start bombarding them with C4, not playing purely objectively? Yeah, if I'm in a specialist.
I mean, if you are playing by yourself, if you are doing anything else, if you have a squad with your friends, if you are doing
SKL squad,
if you are leading an SKL squad, we always ask that you strive your best to win. Okay, you should not put the fun factor first. You should try to get as much fun out of it as you can, but you should be striving to win. Okay, so if you are leading a specialist division, by rule you're not going to be doing the conventional stuff. As you said, if you are leading, for example, a ghost division, what you're going to be trying to do is you're going to be trying to go behind enemy lines, do ghost caps, converge enemy supply lines, try to destroy and backcap stuff behind. So if you are doing all of those stuffs, you can still try to win the alert by doing that. If you are running an armor column ops in the armor division of SKL, for example, if you have an armor squad, you can do your armor squad, but still try your best to win the alert. Communicate with the public platoon leaders. Ask them where they need assistance. Try to talk in command chat, see if anybody needs help. And that goes for every specialist division in SKL. Grenadiers, Raptors, Ghosts, everyone can do their part in trying to win the alert. Everyone is going to do it in a different way. You are not going to be playing as straightforward as a public platoon will by redeploying everywhere and doing this standard stuff, but you can still help. So if you are leading an SKL squad, an official SKL squad, please participate in an alert. Try to do your best for as long as there is hope, okay? Because you get to a point in alerts that there's nothing else you can do. If you have 10% territory control and there's 30 minutes left, there's nothing else you can do in the alert. So you're better off trying to find something fun for your platoon to do or for your squad to do than to keep bumping your head into trying to achieve an impossible challenge, okay? So if there is still a hope, you keep trying as best as you can. Try not to get frustrated by it. And this is the other rule that Sokar always tried to imprint into his leader's head, okay? Sokar used to say this all the time. If you are not having a good day, if you are in a bad mood, do not platoon lead, for God's sake, okay? Because the worst thing that can happen is a platoon leader to get burned out. And it happens a lot. It happened to me several times already. When that happened, you just take a break from the game, you stop playing for a couple weeks, then when you come back, you are back at it again. But we should always try to avoid that. And to avoid that, we need to avoid disappointment. So if you are seeing that something is hopeless, if you are failing again and again, do not keep stopping your own platoon from having fun. Okay? If you're trying something impossible, if there's no way to do it, do not get tired on it. Go do something fun. Go do a harasser race. Go try to take out an enemy bastion if there's one up. Go do whatever the fuck you want so you can have some fun and chill out. Okay? That's more important than keep bumping your head into something that's not gonna be successful. So I guess that answers that. Any other questions, guys? About your responsibilities, how should a platoon leader try to platoon lead? Your responsibilities as a platoon leader. Nope. Sounds good. Okay. Yeah. Now we're gonna go to the most extensive topic, and this one is the one that you guys are probably gonna enjoy, which is gonna be topic 3, which is battle efficiency and overall strategy. How to win alerts, how to be more effective as a squad leader, how to lead your faction to victory. Okay, so now I'm gonna ask all of you guys to redeploy. You're all gonna hit your U keys because we are gonna be on the map screen for this one. Okay, actually, let's see. Let's go to Emmerich. Let's everyone redeploy to the Emmerich warp gate. Let's try to get your asses in here. I'll see if there are bases on the Emmerich warp gate so I can show you guys what I'm talking about. Okay. So let's redeploy. Let's go to Emmerich. We are now on battle tactics. This is the most important topic of tonight. And yeah, we have a couple buildings here. This is gonna be good enough. Okay, so let's get to platoon waypoint. Inside of every warp gate, every major warp gate, there's gonna be some specific buildings. I'm gonna show them to you right here. And to start off, we want to touch on a couple of key points to alerts. Some stuff that you guys need to keep in mind every time that you are leading a squad or a platoon through an alert, okay? And I'm gonna try to keep it as simple as I can for you guys. That way it's not much for you guys to keep in mind during an alert. But I want this to always be on your minds when you guys are platoon leading, okay? Now the first thing and most important thing that you guys need to keep in mind when you are going through an alert are stronghold bases, okay? Now once you guys make your way here to platoon waypoint, I want all of you guys to open up your maps, and we are looking at Emmerich right now. There's no alert going on, but if there was, we would want to have a couple of key bases on the map. Alerts are won not by the amount of territories, but by the amount of choke points that you have. And I am 100% sure that all of you guys already know what I'm talking about. Can any of you guys point me a choke point on Emmerich that we needed to have?
One that we needed or have right now?
No, one that we should have, or that we have right now. Just a choke point overall.
West Pass Watchtower is a great choke point.
NC Arsenal.
West Pass Watchtower. NC Arsenal. There you go.
Bastion.
You guys already know. Bastion.
Woka.
Great. Woka.
Crux.
Nice. Yeah. Crux too. So you guys see, you guys already know which ones there are. Not all bases are the same. There are a couple bases in the map that are very, very strategic for everyone.
here.
If you hold those bases, you can delay or stop an enemy Zerg with less population, or even with just one small squad. You can delay them for a couple minutes. And in an alert, Jesus fucking Christ. A couple minutes in an alert can make a big deal of difference in winning. So here on Emmerich, we're gonna go through each and every one of the maps just real quick. Here in Emmerich, for the Western Warp Gate, which is the one that we're on right now, the bases that we should always be striving to have are NC Arsenal on the north side of the map. On the south side of the map, we need West Pass Watchtower, and on the center of the map is the Bastion. We do not need to worry about the 3 center bases. Leaf Corp, the Ascend, and Rockslide are useless bases. We do not want to hold on to those ones, okay? So every time you have an alert on Emmerich, you should always try to have these 3 key bases. And on the other side, if you're in the Eastern Warp Gate, NC Arsenal, and down south, Split Peak Pass is the base that you want to have. If you are on the Southern Warp Gate, is West Pass and Split Peak. You guys can see how there is one key base in between the frontiers of the territories, right? And to win the alert, you just go around those bases, okay? You need to make sure you
You're
have
losing me.
You have your map
Orbi.
open?
Yeah, I do. Can you use the waypoints to kind of point out what bases you're talking about are critical?
Sure. Yeah,
I can't see
should be
them
doing
immediately.
that. I should be doing that. Sorry about that. Okay, so now we have Alpha, Bravo, and Charlie. You guys see those 3?
Yeah.
Okay, so those 3 bases, NC Arsenal in the north, West Pass Watchtower in the southwest, and Split Peak on the Split Peak Pass on the eastern south side of the map. Those 3 bases are the strongholds of Emmerich. Every time you start an alert, you should try your best to have those bases before the alert starts or in the beginning of the alert. If the alert started and you do not have those bases, you should go on command and tell everyone, guys, let's make a move for that base. We need to cap it before the alert kicks in, so we can have a good defensive position for the alert. Okay? That goes to every single continent. Now swap to INDAR right now. And I'm 100% sure you guys can tell which ones are on INDAR as well, right? So on the left side of the map, you have Quartz Ridge. I can't show it to you guys right now. It's controlled by TR, but I'm almost 100% sure all of you guys know where Quartz Ridge is, right?
Yeah.
Left side of the map, in between TR and NC, Quartz Ridge is right there. That's a key base. To the north of Quartz Ridge is INDAR excavation site. That's another key base. Now on the right side of the map, you have Hauling Pass and Crimson Bluff Tower. Both of those are controlled by VS right now. Just on the right side of the map, on the eastern side of the continent, Hauling Pass and a little bit to the south, Crimson Bluff Tower. Those are the 2 fortifications on the right side of INDAR. And then down south, you have both Crossroads Watchtower and Regent Rock Garrison. Those are the 2 ones that you want to control in the south. And this is going to be the same for every continent. Every continent you go to are going to have some key bases. There are bitches to take that you want to have for as long as you can, and you want to defend with everything you have. You need to throw all of your population if needed to not lose one of those key bases, right? So on Ezemir, if you guys want to go to Ezemir, it's locked right now. But Ezemir is a little bit fucked up because Ezemir does not have these key bases around. The key bases on Ezemir are mostly on the center. They are Echo Valley, Waterson's Redemption, Madison's Triumph. Those are the hard bases to cap in the center.
Ezemir is getting a perk.
Yeah, on the sides, you have the biolabs. So you're going to need to go around the biolabs anyway. And those are hard to defend. But we're not going to spend too much time on Ezemir because, as he said, Ezemir is getting rewards. So do not worry much about those.
Yeah.
One thing I do want to point out, actually, do you want information about Ezemir in its current state, or do you want to wait till it actually launches?
You guys, by knowing how it works in other continents, you can make out Ezemir very simply. There's not much that's different to Ezemir, that's specific to Ezemir. It's gonna make a big difference for you guys. But by the knowledge that you guys have about the other continents, you should be able to make it out very easily. And I'm not gonna spend too much time on it because, as I said, we're not going to have it for much longer. On the next leadership training session, we're going to go more in depth about the bases on Ezemir, but we're going to need to get a feel for it before. We're gonna try to do this training from time to time. That way we can keep it fresh and we can keep giving more information to you guys. Don't worry too much about it. Let's check HOSSIN last. And as once again, I can't put waypoints for you guys, so you're gonna need to try to find it yourselves, but you can get a sense for it. It should be like in the frontier between the factions. Now, to the north, between the western and the eastern warp gate, you need to get Hade Skydock. You guys find it?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I see that.
Hade Skydock should be your focal point in the northern side of HOSSIN. That's a very hard base to take. It's very defensible. You should always try to keep that one for you if you are in the north side of the continent. On the western side, go ahead.
So, Hade Skydock, what makes that so valuable in a choke point?
So, the way PlanetSide works is you have a couple bases that are 3-point bases, right? If you have a 3-point base, even if you have a small amount of people, you can still try to defend it. In a 3-point base, for example, if you hold a single point in the 3-point base, that turns the capture time into a 14 minutes capture time. That is like triple the time that you have if they have all 3 points. So you can keep fighting for a point here, a point there, and keep delaying the enemy long enough for them to need to respond to something else or for allies to come and reinforce you. That is why it's so hard to capture 3-point bases. It's not true for all of them, and you also have a couple of 1-point bases that works the same way, like Echo Valley, for example, on Esamir. I'm 100% sure all of you have already been wiped from an Echo Valley capture because it's such an easily defended base. And that is why it's so important to keep those bases, because it does not matter how much your enemy tries to take that, they're gonna hit a brick wall, you know? And
as long as you stay on point and you're controlling one of the points, they can't obviously move forward.
They can cap it. They will cap it if you cannot take other points from them. But the thing is, you are gaining time. When you are fighting in an alert, time is as precious as territory, even more precious from time to time. If you can delay your enemies by just a couple minutes, you are already making a lot of progress towards winning the alert. That's why choke points are so important. You are delaying the enemy advance. If you can't win, you are delaying them as best as you can, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so choke points are more around points, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
like 3-point bases?
Yeah, bases that can be defended. Stronghold bases with 3 points, or bases with 1 point that are easily defended. On INDAR, for example, I can give you an easy example on INDAR. It's INDAR Array. I'm sure you have already fought in INDAR Array. It's to the right side of Quartz Ridge. And that's a 1-point base that is very easy to defend, depending of how much people you have there. You just gotta make a max crush to the point. The point is not inside of any building. It's an open point. You can bring air support and defend that point. And when those bases are hard to capture, they become choke points. If the enemy brings 2 platoons there and you respond with 2 platoons, you will defend it. That's the point, right?
I do want to point out something really quick about intercom in case you guys didn't know this. You can capture the point from the balcony. You don't even need to leave the building.
Precisely, yeah. But it is one of these bases, you know? It's one of these key bases that exemplify well what a choke point really is. Let's go back to HOSSIN real quick so I can show you guys which ones the other are. So in the northern side, as I said, is Hade Skydock. Now on the western side, more to the south, it's going to be Fort Drexler. I'm sure you guys can find it. Fort Drexler, left side of the map, more to the south, close to Ganan Tech Plant. Fort Drexler is another one of those 3-point bases. It's the same thing for Cairn Station. That's a little more to the south and to the right of Fort Drexler. Those 2 bases are other 2 choke points that you can hold your enemy on for a long time and delay them for a long time. Now, on the eastern side of the map, now on the right side of the map, you have both Bravada PMC and Genesis Terraforming Plant. Those two are really close together, and both of them are also choke points that you should always try to keep. Okay?
Did you guys mention about how the search function can help people find bases?
Oh yeah, you
I have
can also
not yet. And just 2 cents real quick. If you look on the map and you look at the icons, all the bases Orbi has talked about are called large outposts, and they have the little dots on the circle there. So for any new platoon leads, that's a good way to find those defensible bases. The little
Yeah, so
icon looks different.
you guys can see it more easily. Come back to Emmerich, come back to the Emmerich map, everyone. I'm putting platoon waypoint on the NC Arsenal right now, okay? So there in the center of the base, there's a little circle with an icon inside. You can see the icon on the middle. It's different from the other bases around it. That means that that is a stronghold base. That is a base with a 3-point capture and a longer time to cap. That makes it harder and makes it easier for you to find during an alert, okay? And for the search function that he was talking about, on the top left side of your map screen, you have your statistics. Then below your statistics, there's filter. I always keep my filter like everything is marked except for the influence cloud. I always use everything marked except for influence cloud. And then below you have legend and search for region. You can type facility name in there if you do not know where it is. If you just want to find it, you can type it in there, and it will highlight it for you in your minimap, in your map. Okay, so that's what we were talking about. So yeah, those are stronghold bases. And just while we are still touching on strongholds, one last thing about this kind of bases, guys. For God's sake, never take your platoon to a biolab, okay? I cannot stress this enough. If I see any of you guys leading a platoon inside a biolab, I'll kill you myself. You guys understand?
So what you're telling me is,
I am
Chris,
glad to hear that, because I hate going into biolabs.
Same here.
Farm or be farmed.
all right, so Orbi, in my defense, when I took my platoon into that biolab, there was no way we were going to win that alert.
Yeah, unless that is happening, okay? If you guys are still trying to win, as I said, it's situational. If you guys are still trying to win an alert, try to avoid as best as you can going into a biolab, because biolab fights are complete population sinks. They are not good at all for your faction. And if you can, you should always try to free your own biolabs. If you have a huge VS population fighting in an allied biolab, you should try to cut off that biolab to allow that population to go somewhere else. That's gonna give you a lot of buffer for other territories in your for your faction, and it's gonna stop you from wasting resources into a base that's not gonna be any good for the alert. Now the same thing goes for the opposite faction, and I've seen a couple SKL leaders do this from time to time. It does not matter how big of a cutoff it's gonna be. It does not matter how nice the map's gonna be after it. If you are going to do a cutoff in a biolab that has a fight between NC and TR, you are bound for a double team. You should avoid it at all costs. If you have a biolab between TR and NC, do not cut that biolab off, for God's sake, because you're gonna kill a fight that's happening between both of them, and all of that population is gonna turn on you after that one. So
Just let them kill each other.
just let them kill each other, let them sink their population, unless it's your biolab. If it's your biolab, you should try to get it free, go around the biolab and cut it off. If it's an enemy biolab, leave it alone. Do not cut off enemy biolabs, because that population is gonna come back to bite you in the ass, okay?
I have a question.
Go ahead.
What should we do about central bases like the Ascent and Nason's Defiance?
Yeah, I was gonna touch on that a little bit more forward, but we can talk about it now. There's no problem. Now, this is an overall rule of thumb for winning alerts. It's not. It is not 100% effective, but by my experience, and you guys can also talk to other platoon leaders as well, you should always try your best to avoid the middle of the map, okay? Because let's take a look at Amerish, for example. Right now, VS has control of all 3 central bases except for Raven Landing. So we have Lift Corp, we have the Ascent, and the NC have Raven Landing, right? What that means is that if you look on the TR front right now, the TR are kind of fucked up right now. The lattice is all messed up, but we are very, very deep into TR territory, and those center lattices do not connect to any NC territory. The TR are only gonna have connection to NC down south. That means they are only gonna fight us. That's why you should always try to avoid the middle of the map. That is true for every single one of the continents. Amerish, always try to stay away from the Ascent, Lift Corp, Raven Landing, Rock Slide. You should always try to give up those bases so TR and NC are gonna fight over it instead of you. And you fall back to the Bastion and you defend on the Bastion. They cannot go through the Bastion by any means, but the other center ones, fuck it, just give it to them and let them fight over it. If you go to INDAR, same thing goes here. You have T-Alloys, The Crown, and Series Hydroponics. Those 3 bases are huge population sinks. The NC and the TR can fight over it all day. You don't give a shit. You just go around. You defend Alatum if you need. You defend Zervan Amp Station if you need. You defend the impact side if you need, but let them have the middle of the map. It's just going to be a population sink anyway. Same thing for HOSSIN with Nason's Defiance and Gurney Dan. And same thing for Esamir with the tech plan. Those bases are population sinks. They are no good for the alert. And most of the times, the lattices that they open will stop the enemy from fighting each other. If you control the middle of the map, the enemy can only fight you instead of fighting your enemy. And that's not what you want for an alert. So you can try to go for the middle of the map in the end of the alert. If you need an easy capture, you can drop on Series Hydroponics, for example. That's an easy capture. You can try to do some cheeky play around the middle of the map by the end of the alert. But as a rule of thumb, try to stay away from the center. That's always useful. It should always be kept in mind. Okay? Any questions?
Good.
Okay, now one last topic in alerts. Now this one is very important, guys. This one, there's no way I can teach you guys how to do this. It's more of a feeling. It's something that your gut tells you instead of something that's going to be written in stone for every single alert. And that is time spending, okay? So when an alert starts, as I said, you have 2 main resources. You have both territory and time, okay? And there are 2 types of situation that you can be in when an alert starts. You can either be in the lead or you can be you can start the alert losing, right? So if you are in the lead during an alert and you have a big lead, let's say you start the alert with more than 40% territory control, and you have warp-gated TR, for example. You started the alert, you have most of the map, and you warp-gated TR. There is no way for you to avoid a double team. You are the winning faction, you are warp-gating the enemy. There's no way you can avoid being double teamed, right? They will come for you. What do you do in those situations? Do you sit back and wait for the double team? No. You gotta waste every precious second that your enemy has. When you are winning an alert, you are fighting for time. You are not fighting for territory anymore. Every time you are in the lead, you are fighting to get every single minute that you can out of your enemy. And what do? You drop behind enemy lines. You try to start back caps. You keep yourself in the offensive. You keep taking territories for as long as you can. Try to get yourself into a 55% lead. That way your enemy is not going to be able to take enough territory from you to take the victory. You need to keep yourself in the aggression and keep buying every single minute of time that you can. I had myself an alert the other day in which, if you guys look at INDAR right now, you guys see Quartz Ridge. Can everyone find Quartz Ridge? So if you look at Quartz Ridge right now, it's connected to Havar Data Bank to the south. And that road that leads to Havar Data Bank right there is a huge choke point. It's the only way for you to get from Havar to Quartz Ridge, because those mountains right there are huge drops. Every armor that tries to go through that will die. There's no way they can go through anywhere other than the road. So what I did is I built a base in that road right there and put it as many walls as I could to stop the enemy from reaching Quartz Ridge. That maneuver right there gave me enough time to win the alert, just by holding the enemy on that road right there. We were fighting for time, not for bases. We were trying to delay them as best as we could. That's what you try to do when you are in the lead. You try to get as much time out of them as you can. That's why stronghold bases are so important, because when you are fighting for a stronghold, you can take your entire platoon and focus in one point. If you clear them out of one point, that point's going to give you precious minutes. Then you rotate to another point. You try to touch that point. That gives you more minutes. And you keep doing that, and you keep trying to get as many time as you can out of every single base. And pray to Vanu that you will stay in the lead by the end of it. Because if you start the alert winning, you are almost always going to lose the alert. Almost always the faction that starts the alert is going to be the one to lose, and it's going to be the one to be in last place. So if you start by winning, you should be as aggressive as you can and squeeze every second that you can out of every base. Now, if you start by losing an alert, if you start in third place or if you start in second place, that is a different story, because the other factions are not going to come for you. They're going to be fighting whoever's in the lead. At least logic dictates that. Sometimes the NC will double team you no matter what. You guys should get used to it, okay?
It's just inevitability of Vanu life.
Yeah, but when they are being rational, they should be trying to take territory away from whoever is in the lead. And when that is happening, you should bide your time. You guys should not try to go and take as much territory as you can. Because if you start an alert in second place and you gobble up all of the territory until it's 50 minutes left in the alert, you're gonna get yourself a lead, and then you will get double teamed. So if you guys start an alert by losing, if you start in second place or if you start in third place, you should work slowly. Try to capture those key bases that we talked about. Keep your platoon in big fights. Do not go for any fancy cutoffs. Unless you have a very good cutoff, of course. You can never say no to a very big cutoff. They are also so juicy. But you guys understand. You should try to stay back, try to play your time, let the enemy lose a lot of territory, and then when you see that the time is right, you go for first place, and then you try to hold on to those key bases that you already conquered, okay? Now, there's no way I can teach you guys how to do this perfectly. There's no single form, there's no single method for every single alert. Every warp gate is different, every continent is different, and every platoon that you guys will be running will be different as well. So there's no way I can teach you guys how to do this perfectly. But this is something that you will learn with time. Most of you that play the game for some time now already know this kind of stuff, already know when to move, where to attack. And if you do not know that, and you want to question your fellow platoon leaders, there's definitely going to be someone in your platoon that has done it already, that has a lot of experience, and you guys should feel free to ask them. They will help you guys out. And if you guys are being that one person being asked about it, try to do your best to help your fellow platoon leader, because he is in the fight with you, and we're all here to win together, right? So that's time spending. As I said, there's no way I can teach you guys about it. It's just something you guys gotta keep in mind. Fight for time, not for territory, okay? Any questions about that?
I've got ammo for you here.
Nope.
I think I'm good.
Exactly. Yeah, I think we're fine on that topic right there. We got it covered. One last thing that I'm gonna touch on alerts is a little bit about how to like set up your platoon. Okay, this is gonna be real quick. One thing that I like to do a lot, and I advise all of you guys to try to do when you are platoon leading, is always try to have a fast response Delta squad. What do I mean by that? When you are starting your platoon, when your platoon are still growing on, or when you inherit the platoon leader leading after the end of an alert, always try to get those skilled players, those players that have ASP or battle rank 100 into Delta squad, and give them a dedicated squad leader, someone that can respond to you fast. Because one of the worst things that you can do as a platoon leader is to actually keep your platoon together all the time, okay? You should always be trying to spread your platoon. And I'm not saying that you guys should send one squad to each base. That's not what I'm saying at all. What I'm saying is, by having separate squad waypoints for your squad, you can cover key positions that you need. A clear example is in one of those key bases that we talked about. If you're trying to capture a key base, you need to keep people behind to defend those points. So what do? You get a dedicated Delta squad with all of the good players that you can spare to Delta squad, and you send Delta squad to defend a place, defend Alpha Point, defend the router, go take that ghost cap back for us. You always need to have a smaller response force, so you do not be completely concentrated in one place. You can be a blunt force weapon when you have your full platoon with you, but you need the versatility of a single squad as well. And I always try to keep it to Delta squad. It's always nice. Give it to someone you know it's a good squad leader, and put all of the good players in Delta squad, and that's it. Okay, that's the last thing about alerts that I have to give you guys. Now, the last topic that we're gonna cover, and this is gonna be the end of it, guys. I know it's been going for a long time already. It's gonna be on point hold and maneuvers. So battle maneuvers and point hold. Okay, so I'm gonna go over each one of these, and I just want to know if there's anyone here that does not know which any of these are, because if everyone knows, I'm not gonna go over it. Okay, everybody knows how to do a gal drop, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Redeploy back to the warp gate, get maxes inside, engineers and medics, fly your galaxy over whatever point you want to take, and drop on the point. It's not the fastest way to do it, but if you have a little time to spare, it's very effective. Everyone should know how to do. Everyone knows what is a max crush, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
You regroup in the spawn room, you get lots of maxes, engineers, and medics, and you push the point all together, right? That's also very easy to do. But right here on the max crush topic, I have something else to add. Because every time I'm in a platoon that I'm not leading, I never see this being brought up. Every time that you guys are trying to retake a point, you should always use the teleporter. Almost every single base in PlanetSide 2 has a teleporter inside. And the enemy is always gonna be spawn camping you if you had the lowest population before you arrived. So every time you guys do a max crush, try to get to the point through a way that the enemy is not expecting you. Take the teleporter, jump from somewhere else. And we're gonna go through some bases here after I finish this, just so I give you guys a couple examples. But always keep that in mind. Teleporters should always be taken. Next one, armor columns. Everyone knows what is an armor column, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you have a base with a lot of spawns, if a base is surrounded by sunders and you need to take out the enemy spawn points, redeploy to a base behind, pull a lot of armor and try to take out their sunders outside of the base. If the enemy is getting ready to push to the next base and you want to get, as I said, as many minutes as you can out of the enemy alert, you pull an armor column and stop them dead in the road before they can hit the base, right? Even if it's a 96 plus Zerg, if you pull an armor column with a platoon, you're gonna kill their sunders, you're gonna give yourself a couple more minutes before they can hit the next base. Very, very useful. And the last one is less used than most, but it's still very used these days. I personally do it a lot, which is the airball. What is the airball? You have a Bastion fleet carrier, an enemy Bastion fleet carrier that's fucking you up. It does not have a lot of defense. You get everyone back to the warp gate, get as many scythes as you can, and you just throw everything you have at the enemy Bastion and try to take it out. You do it again if you need to. It's a good thing to do at the end of an alert. If you are not winning, it's a fun thing to do. It's always nice to see a lot of scythes flying away from warp gate at once. So yeah, that's always nice to do as well. It's not as used as the other ones, but that's another maneuver that you guys should keep in mind. So everyone knows those ones. We're good. Any questions about what we had so far?
I've got ammo for you here.
Whatever you have, man. Your target saturation. You don't even need to know how to shoot from a scythe. Just gotta be there so you can get shot and people can shoot for you, okay? Doesn't matter if you know how to fly, it's all good. It's no problem.
It's all giving them more targets than they can handle.
Exactly. Precisely. Yeah. Okay, so now we are literally in the last thing of the leadership training, guys. This is going to be the last thing that we're going to be talking about, and it's going to be point, hold, breaches, and hold, okay? I want you all to follow me outside this building that we're on right now. Get outside, follow me, get around the platoon leader, and I want you all to look at this building that we were on, right? Probably all of you guys already know this building. You've seen this building before. That is because PlanetSide has a limited amount of assets. Almost every single base is going to have at least one structure that you guys already seen somewhere. And all of these structures have specific ways to be breached or defended, right? So the first thing that I want to touch on is breach. When you're trying to get into a point, what's going to end up happening is your platoon is going to respawn in the spawn point and they're going to run to the A point. Let's pretend that the A point here is upstairs, where it usually is, right? And every time they're gonna get here, they're gonna come through the door and they're gonna see a bunch of engineering turrets up there or a bunch of maxes, and they're not gonna be able to push upstairs, right? So what's gonna end up happening is they're gonna stay right here on the door, trying to revive whoever goes in and try to shoot inside if they see someone trying to peek. That is not productive. You are not gonna take a base like that. You need to take a base using blunt force. The easiest way to do that is by pulling a max crush. It's the easiest way. You send the maxes in, they soak up the damage, and you push upstairs, right? But if you think that you don't need to do a max crush, most of the times you are still not going to be able to push. Because a single engineering turret can hold this door for a long time. Everyone that's going to come up is going to get headshot and you're just going to die, right? So how do you break a point? It's very simple. Very, very simple. You guys just need a couple of words, right? You get your platoon, redeploy, and then you say, everyone regroup in the door, look for your platoon leader, I'm popping down smoke, and we are pushing together. All you gotta say is that. You wait for as many people as you can outside, get as much people as you can in this area right here, around the doors. If you have it, and I highly recommend that you guys get it, you throw in a smoke grenade, do a countdown, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Everybody in! Throw your bodies on point! Everybody inside! Everybody inside! Everybody inside! And then you overwhelm your enemy with targets. You overwhelm your enemy with targets. You get as much people inside as you can. And if you go all at once, they can't kill you all. You keep throwing revive grenades inside, people are gonna get revived, and then you're just gonna overwhelm the defenses. But if you do not do that call out, if you do not regroup and push together, people are just gonna trickle in and they're gonna die in the doors and you're not gonna be able to take the base. So every time that you are seeing that a base is well defended but does not have the need for a max crush, always regroup and push together, right? As I said, try to take the teleporter from the spawn room every chance that you get. They're not going to be expecting you in the teleporter. And always try to get inside with a regroup push, okay? You guys do not have any idea about how powerful this move is, okay? Now for the last thing, we're going to talk about point hold, right? This base right here, this building that we're standing on, is one of the most easily defendable bases in the game. This base is commonly called the power building, okay? So all you guys need to do for you to hold this base is stay upstairs. Look where I'm standing right now. Everyone stay around me. Everyone stay around me. All you need to do is stay right here. If you have your platoon right here, you deploy baby gates around this place. You put engineering turrets. You get one baby gate in the other side. And you get people defending the double doors. Now for this building right here, you have specific callouts. And when you get to a base like this, you should tell the callouts to your platoon. That way they will know how to respond to a base, right? As soon as you get inside, you clear the point, you tell everyone, okay, everyone, this side right here, look for me, look for the platoon lead, look at what I'm shooting at. This right here is fat stairs, fat stairs. If I call fat, you guys defend this side. This side right here, where the platoon lead is shooting at, is skinny stairs. This is skinny stairs. On the other side, if I call skinny, you guys defend skinny. And the other side is double doors. Double doors. If I call dubs, you guys defend this side. Okay? Now if I say, we have a breach in skinny, breach in skinny, breach in skinny. There we go. Everybody goes and defends skinny. Breach in dubs, breach in dubs. Max crush incoming fat stairs, max crush incoming fat stairs. There you go. No one could breach this building if you guys answered like this. If you have a platoon that's this coordinated and is responding to callouts like this, no one can breach this point. I've held bases like this one against 70% populations, and it's the same thing that B-Way likes doing, and the enemy is not going to be able to kick you guys out of a base like this. So if you see a building like this is how you defend it, okay? Now let's go to the next one right beside here. This one is called the L-shaped building. Now this one is a fucking bitch, okay? This building right here is very, very hard. It's one of the hardest ones to defend because as soon as the enemy gets inside, they have a clear line of shot of you guys. So what you want to do is put down baby gates in the doors, you bar them in, and you stay in this center piece right here. You should try to keep your platoon centered in these center squares right here. Get the engineering turrets around, Get as many medics as you can to stay close to the walls. Get your medics close to the walls so they are not in line of shot. And keep everyone in your platoon away from the doors. This is the most important thing that you need to do during point hold. Get your platoon away from the doors. Because if they are in the doors, they're going to get killed by C4. They're going to get killed by friendly fire. And then a medic is going to come up to try to revive him. And then the medic's going to die. And that's how you lose a point. Okay? So always tell your platoon, stay away from the doors, fall back defensive position, and show them where they should be. Okay? This is how you defend this one. Not much you can do with this one. This one is a bitch. Now to the next one here on the side. Platoon waypoint. This one is another very hard one because it's open in all sides. And once again, this one there's not much that you can do. You just baby gauge all of the doors. You stay inside. Get your people in the corners and tell your platoons to stay away from the doors. That's all you can do. Stay away from the doors. Stay away from the towers. Let the maxes stay in the doors. And you keep your guys inside. Keep reviving grenades coming in. And try to keep the routers alive if you have them. Now this brings me back to a point that I forgot to mention. Routers. Routers, guys. There's no way. There's nothing more important in PlanetSide 2 right now than routers. Routers are the best assets in the game by far. In every single platoon that you guys are running, you should try to have at least one router guy. Okay? The router guy is always the MVP. The router guy is always the most important player in your platoon. Always call out routers. Always ask, do we have anyone willing to build a router base? Do we have anyone with a router willing to bring it to us? And then if you have a router inside a base, your main objective should be to keep the router alive unless you are in the last 30 seconds of the point hold. If there is like 30 seconds left, ditch the router and collapse everyone on point. You should always call that out. Collapse on point, 30 seconds, and you bring all of your numbers back to the point room, because if you have more numbers than they have, even if they max crush, they're not going to be able to take the base back from you. So last 30 seconds, you bring everybody back, and you try to defend with everything you have. Okay? Now we're going to redeploy again, because there are a couple bases that I want to show you guys before we end, and we are approaching the end here. Now what I want to show you guys is a quick way for you guys to take a tech plan. Okay, there are 3 types of giant buildings in the game. There are biolabs, amp stations, and tech plants, right? Biolabs are just bitches to take. You should try to avoid biolabs at all costs unless you know it's going to be an easy cap. Then you can go for the biolab. Amp stations, there's no strategic way for you to cap unless you are bringing GSD sunders inside, which are gate shield diffusing, and you can get inside the point with a router. That's the only way you can try to cap an amp station, by cheesing it. Okay, there's no strategy to capping amp stations, especially because nowadays there are a lot of amp stations with 3 points. They are not all 1-point bases anymore. But tech plant are a different story. Almost every single tech plant in the game is going to have the same layout. They are all going to be exactly the same, right? So I want you guys to redeploy to Heyoka tech plant with me. Everybody platoon waypoint, let's get you guys down here so I can show you guys what I'm talking about. When you... Go ahead. Yeah, everybody should try to stay inside. Let's regroup in the spawn room, guys. Everybody regroup in the spawn, okay? I'm gonna take you guys in a little walk around so I can show you all what I'm talking about, okay? So...
Also going to, sorry?
Go ahead, go ahead.
Also going to quickly point out, you can see an unusual move from the NC being strangely smart for once. Surrounding the ascent, that is a demonstration of what we were talking about a bit ago.
Yeah, but they are taking the ascent away from us. If you can see right now, look at the NC lattice. Look at the NC lattice. Do you see how we pushed to Crook's headquarters? How we took like everything in the center right now? The NC right now, they only have 2 lattices against the TR. They literally can only attack TR in Onata Southwest Gate on Alpha Waypoint and on Bravo Waypoint. Those are the 2 bases that the NC and the TR can fight over. Now, how many bases can they fight over us? Wookuk, Chimney Rock, the Bastion, Crook's headquarters, McCulloch Mining, and the Ascent. We have 6 bases that they can attack against the 2 from the TR. That's a great example of why you need to try to keep your lattices closed. Why do you try to avoid the middle of the map? That's why. Okay, now let's go back to the tech plant right here. Now, on the tech plant, you guys probably already know about the balcony. The balcony is going to be in every single tech plant. It's the point that you guys want to hold, and it's on platoon waypoint, right? If you gow drop on the balcony with a router, that is a very defensible position that you guys should always try to take. But if you are max crushing the tech plant, if you're trying to defend the tech plant, how do you clear the balcony? That is the hard thing. Because if the enemy have a good defense on the balcony, you are almost never going to be able to kick them out. It's a very, very defensible position. Now teach you guys why, okay? Now I'm going to take you guys through a kind of a weird way inside of the tech plant so you guys can see what I'm talking about, okay? Now everyone follow the giant pink max or green max, that's the platoon lead, okay? We're gonna take the tunnels, but you guys do not keep moving forward, okay? Do not press W, let yourself be stopped. Do not keep pushing, do not go. Yeah, you guys fucked up. Stop here with us, okay? So if you guys go that way, if you guys keep pushing forward, you guys are gonna go to the inside part of the tech plant, and you're gonna go up the butthole, and you're gonna appear just below the balcony. That is the worst place that you can appear with a max crush, because you are literally throwing yourself into enemy C4. All they need to do is extend their arm and throw C4 on top of you, and a single C4 can kill like 7 maxes if you do a max crush that way. So that never works, guys. That never works. In a million years, do never take a max crush that way unless you know the balcony is not being well defended. If you know they are defending it well, never take your guys there, okay? What are your only 2 other options? You can either do a gow drop, you pull from other base, or you go this way. Now you guys come with me, and I'll show you guys the way. Go up these stairs, you're gonna appear in the banana building. Every banana building in the tech plant is the same way. Every tech plant is gonna have this banana building. Now you take the doors outside, and this area right here should have very little defenders right here, because the enemy are not gonna keep people in here. Then you go inside and wait, you go to the elevator. Because this way you can get down to the balcony from behind, drop here, and then you guys can just walk to the balcony. It's an easy drop, and if you get like 20 maxes this way, you're just gonna crush the balcony with 20 maxes. It's not a long walk. You can do this in just a couple seconds from the spawn room, and it's the easiest way to defend the tech plant from the inside without doing a gow drop. This way you get yourself to the balcony, you avoid all the C4 that's gonna come your way if you go through the tunnels down there, and you get the coverage of the high ground to you.
Did I mention a tip on jumping down, Orbi?
Yeah, go ahead, man.
Alright, so if you hug the wall when you jump down, so instead of pressing forward, just drop down, like just tiptoe down, and then if you hug the wall, it'll actually stop you in those 3 spots there. So you see this little lever that's coming off the wall? It'll actually slow your fall so you take no fall damage.
Precisely. But even if you take it, the fall damage from the balcony is very, very low. It's not something that's going to compromise your push.
I am a medic.
So this is the last one, guys. The tech plant is one of the other hard point hold buildings that you have. And if you are doing a max crush without a gal drop, this is the best way for you to get into the balcony, okay? Now you might encounter during your platoon leading sessions, you might encounter someone putting the router instead of holding on the balcony, they're gonna be holding on platoon waypoint. And I've seen this done a couple of times. If the enemy puts a router here around the gun in the front, it's gonna be a different story. Because as soon as you come inside, they're gonna have a clear line of shot from... You're gonna have a clear line of shot at you guys.
I'm an engineer. I'll
And if you
repair
pull the balcony, you're still gonna have to fight for the point anyway. But there are very few people that do this. This requires a very higher level of coordination. And if you find a router placed around the gun, it's probably gonna be an elite fit. A very good TR outfit or a very good NC outfit. They're the only ones that are probably gonna be doing this one. Because this one is it's a lot harder to pull off. But if you do get it right, it's a lot easier to defend. Okay? So that's it, guys. That ends our point hold class here. Let me see if I see anything in the map that I need to touch upon again. We already touched on the power building. Yep, go ahead.
Just a moment. Alright, so I noticed you didn't speak anything about point stealing. And also about when attacking, just stealing from either NC or TR when they're fighting. And I also noticed that you didn't talk about when you're defending the primary, secondary, and the unusual paths that the enemy might take.
Okay, so you're talking about stealing bases. So let's talk about stealing bases.
Yeah, one by one.
Yeah, let's start out with stealing bases. So base stealing is a hard thing to pull off. Okay, it requires a lot of coordination. I wasn't gonna bring it up in the first platoon leadership training session because it's hard to coordinate. You gotta get the timing exactly right. You need to get the drop exactly right. And I'm not gonna lie to you, when I'm not the one doing it, when I'm in a platoon that's attempting to do base steal, most of the times it does not succeed because we miss the timing. Okay? So if you guys are attempting to do a base steal, you need to get prepped with a lot of time in advance. If you are seeing a base that you are trying to steal, that you will try to steal, start prepping in advance. Get your guys in galaxies with a couple minutes of anticipation. Get everybody ready with time to spare. And then when you see that the time is right, you make the move and try to steal the base. It can be done. It's very, very rewarding when you actually do. And you can actually win alerts by stealing a base. But as I said, it requires a lot of preparation, so you guys keep that in mind. And you guys need to prepare with time in advance, okay? Now, the second thing that you talked about was holding the enemy on the secondary and primary points of advance. What do you mean by that, man?
Well, usually, yes, I have, well, not much, but some experience. If I have some good squad leads or whatever, I just want to say that squad leading is a whole new thing. If I know that I can pair the squads, or rather not spare, but coordinate them and just say, like, Alpha Bravo, hold the primary, put the platoon or squad waypoints rather, and then I tell maybe Charlie to hold the secondary path and tell Delta to watch for the unusual path, which would be like a cow drop or whatever, or some really unusual way you would expect. Most of the times the primary paths are the fastest and easiest and shortest way from their spawn to you when you're defending. So of course that would have the heaviest fire. And the secondary path, as you talked earlier, would be the teleporter most usually, and that would be like if you do a mass crush or whatever. But I don't see many PLs actually taking mental notes of these paths, like where can the enemy come from, where should I expect for the enemy to come from, and how many people should I put on that?
Yeah, I believe that is kind of inherent to the base that you're defending. Most of the times you will take position and you will like kind of be aiming at where the enemy is coming from. That's kind of inherent from defending the base. Everyone will be doing that no matter what. But what you said is very interesting. I didn't touch on that specifically about like where the enemies are going to be coming from, but I touched on it by saying that you should try to split your platoon. That's the best and most effective way for you to defend. So if I was defending the stack plant right now, what is the best way for me to do it? Okay, I would have, listen up, I would have platoon waypoint on the balcony right there, and I would say, Alpha Squad and Bravo Squad defend the balcony. Alpha Squad and Bravo Squad defend the balcony. Charlie Squad, you guys are gonna stay below and keep your eyes on the glory hole. If you guys go to the vehicle pads in the tech plant, you can get a clear line of shot at the glory hole, which is the tunnels that we just talked about. That if you go through, you're just gonna get C4'd your ass out of space. So I get Charlie Squad in here. I get Charlie Squad shooting at the glory hole. And then Delta Squad, which is my dedicated squad that I already told you guys. I get all of the high-ranking ASP sweaty heavies on Delta Squad, and I keep them on the A point, where they should be trying to fight whoever tries to ambush or jet light assault to point.
I can repair that.
So this kind of stuff, splitting up your platoon into different defensive positions in the same base is exactly what I was trying to talk about when I said that you should try to split your platoon. By keeping it together, you have a blunt instrument of force, but by splitting it, you have a very, very higher tactical superiority over your enemy. You can keep eyes out on multiple points, you can stop the enemy from coming from multiple points, and the most important thing when point hold defending any base, not only this one, not only a power building one, is actually intel. You should always be trying to tell your platoon, you guys need to scream as loud as you can if you see a max crush or a gal drop. Because if you get a surprise max crush that you have not anticipated, you will get wiped out. If you are gal dropped from a point that you are not expecting the enemy to come from, you will get wiped out. So should always try to get people with eyes everywhere and people trying to make call outs if they see stuff coming in. But the problem with that is to discipline your platoon. Because you guys know how communications are hard during an alert with your platoon. Most of the times there's someone talking about a circumcised penis or something else. Depending on the time of the night, it can get very, very bad. The trash talk in platoon. Not a bad thing. I myself enjoy it a lot. I believe the social part of PlanetSide 2 is very, very good. But for the platoon leader, it's kind of hard for you to keep everyone on their toes. So if you start telling everyone you guys should make call-outs, they're going to be starting to call out every single infantryman that they see everywhere. Okay, so if you are asking your platoon to make call-outs, make it clear. Guys, I want to know about max crushes and gal drops only. I do not want to hear you calling out a single max that's on the hill trying to take out our aircraft. Okay? That's what is hard to do about communications in the platoon. But if you can get a platoon to respond cohesively, if you can get a platoon to go to where you're sending them to, you will become an unstoppable force. And it's only up to you, okay? It's not the platoon's fault, it's not the player's fault, it's the platoon leader's fault. You are the most important player. If you are aspiring, if you are getting your people to follow your orders, you will get success in any base that you're trying to cap. There's no discussion about it. It's all up to you guys.
Since we're talking about communication right now, what would you say, as we're speaking about public platoons, obviously here, I see many platoon leaders trying to lead a squad of 48 people, as they say, and not delegating to their squad leads, but that's actually understandable with public. So, what is like your opinion on that? And also, as we're still on the topic with about communication, what would you say about communication with the command? As I know that there are mixed feelings between the platoons with leaders about command chat.
Yeah, just as you said, all of these things go down to opinion. You will have different platoon leaders. Some people will enjoy some aspects and some people will not. Myself, I believe that command chat is the most important tool that PlanetSide 2 has. It's one of the things that I like the most about the game, and I am very sad that not enough people use it to its full potential. I believe that coordinating with other platoons is the best way to achieve victory in PlanetSide 2. And from time to time, when I get command chat to coordinate together, as I said, when I have multiple SKL platoons and a VKTZ platoon that's responding, and an air squad that's playing Liberators, and I have an SKL division doing armor, and everyone is coordinating in command chat, it's just beautiful, man. That is when the game truly shines for me. That is what I enjoy about this game, is when you have that level of coordination. You feel like you are really deep into it, and it feels like you are playing StarCraft with your voice, you know? It's fucking amazing, and it's what I enjoy about the game. The squad leading thing, it's a little more complicated, because that's going to depend a lot on your squad leaders and on your platoon as well. If you have a platoon that's demonstrating to be extremely cohesive, if you, for example, if you ask for a gal drop and everybody redeploy in 30 seconds, then you have a cohesive platoon. And if you do have a cohesive platoon, you can start to delegate more. You do stuff just like I did right here, okay? Charlie Squad, go to that place and cap that for me. And then you forget about Charlie Squad. Charlie Squad leader is going to take care of that. And you guys are going to be these leaders, right? You guys should be the ones doing these leading stuff. And then you try to keep your callouts to yourselves, right? For example, if I have Delta Squad sitting on the A point, right here, as I said, I would keep Delta Squad, my sharpest assets in the platoons here on the Alpha point to try to defend. If someone from Delta Squad sees a light assault jumping over a wall with a C4, he's not going to call that in platoon chat. You as the Delta Squad leader should be calling that out, but only for your squad. You guys are the only ones here. Charlie doesn't need to know about the light assault that's jumping with a C4 on A point. They're not even there. So that is when squad communications start getting used. But as I said, that's going to depend on your platoon more than anything else. It's going to depend on your coordination, and you are going to be the one to judge if you are better spending your platoon as a blunt force instrument, and as I said, just sending everyone to the same place and hitting it as a rock, or you can delegate most people to different places. And I will tell you by experience, if you try to delegate too much, like if you are giving free reign for your squad leaders and each squad is functioning as its own platoon, most of the times you're not going to get a lot of shit done, because you need the platoon leader to have control over most of the squad, okay? So squad leader communication should be down to calling down beacons, calling down your squad waypoints, spotting enemy sunders and stuff like that. But I don't think there's a problem with the micromanagement that people scream about. Myself, I don't see it, you know? I saw people like arguing about platoon leaders micromanaging too much, and that's not a problem for me. You're just taking control of the battlefield. Me, for example, when I'm playing platoon lead, I'm not even shooting my weapons. Like, I'm not joking. If you guys are in a platoon with me, most of the time you're gonna see me like crouching in a corner with my map open, just calling out stuff. You know, I'm not even playing the game anymore. I can micromanage. I'm here to do that. That's my job as a platoon leader. Okay? But if you have a good platoon, if you have good squad leaders, feel free to delegate as much as you want. I had a very good run the other day. Maybe some of you guys were there too, where I had Delta Squad led by Kasami. Delta Squad was led by Kasami. I had all of my best players on Delta Squad. And it was on that thing that I said earlier that we were defending Quartz Ridge against people on INDAR. They were pulling down from Quartz Ridge from Havar Data Bank. If you guys open up your INDAR maps right now, Quartz Ridge is on the TR territory on the left side of the map. I had Alpha, Bravo, and Charlie on the road defending the base between Quartz Ridge and Havar Data Bank. And then I sent Kasami. I was like, Kasami, Delta Squad is gonna take Havar Data Bank from me. Do what you can to get a back cap going on that base. And then I just left Kasami to it. He squad led her 12 guys into Valkyries, dropped the entire Delta Squad on point on Havar Data Bank with a router, and they defended it long enough for us to kick the guys out of the road to Quartz Ridge and actually take back Havar Data Bank with a 96 plus on our back. So that's when you get squad leaders to do shit. But I knew that Kasami was going to be able to do it because her squad was extremely coordinated. I had only the best players there. If I did that with Alpha Squad, for example, it was full of new players and people that are not in SKL and people that maybe don't even speak English, you know? So they were not going to be as effective as that. You guys have always got to keep that in mind too.
Yeah, I suppose we would need some squad leading training in the future. Yeah. Alright, here's another one for you. What would you say about Zerging? I mean, not on our side, but most of POs get actually frustrated if they get zerged, and when, as you touched on people being frustrated earlier, but from my experience, I've seen POs that get so frustrated that they actually start blaming stuff for their own platoon, and I've never seen that go well. Like,
yeah,
take some
ammunition. That can go very bad. Hitter, I'm gonna ask you a couple seconds here, because I've already answered like 3 questions from you. I want to know if there's any questions from anyone else. Does anyone else have any questions, guys? Any of you are thinking about anything?
No, I don't. I'm good.
I think it pretty much just comes down to experience at that point.
Yeah. Practice and practice and practice. That's all you guys gotta take. So yeah, nice. So if anybody's cool, to answer your question, Hitter, zerging is one of those things that are very misinterpreted in PlanetSide 2, okay? So if I say, I'm taking a 96 plus, I'm getting 2 full platoons to drop on Quartz Ridge, and there's absolutely no one defending Quartz Ridge. Is that a Zerg? I have a 96 plus against 0 people on Quartz Ridge. Is that a Zerg?
Guess
Anyone?
Not.
You guys can answer. Anyone? Is that a Zerg? I'm taking a 96 plus to Quartz Ridge, and there's no one defending it. Is that a Zerg?
Yes.
Yes.
It is not. And it is not because Quartz Ridge is one of those stronghold bases. A 96 plus is the exact amount of people that I need to take Quartz Ridge. I need to hit it with blunt force if I want to take it. If I do not take a 96 plus and I only take 1 platoon, the TR can redeploy 2 platoons and kick me out of it. Just like that. 30 seconds, they redeploy, kick me out of there, and all my time is wasted. Okay? Now, what if I take a 96 plus, or even just 1 platoon, to a base like, let's say, open up your maps on Emrish, and I'm talking about the Scarfield Reliquary, for example. Platoon waypoint. Look at platoon waypoint. If I take a 96 plus there, and there's no one defending, that is a Zerg, because I do not need that 96 plus to take that base. 1 platoon, even 1 squad can do it. It's not a key base. So Zerging always comes down to where are you taking your people. If you have a 96 plus going up and down a lattice that is not being defended, that is a Zerg. They're capping random bases with a 96 plus and no one is defending those bases and no one will. That is a Zerg. But if you are taking a 96 plus to a base that requires a 96 plus to be taken, like Quartz Ridge, Hauling Pass, here in Emmerich you have the NC Arsenal, West Pass Watchtower, Split Peak Pass, then that is not a Zerg, because that is actually the right amount of people that you need to take that base. Because if the enemy redeploys, they will kick you out if you do not have that amount of people. Now, for dealing with enemy Zergs, now that is a different story, right? Because most of the times when I see platoon leaders complaining about enemy Zergs, they are actually the ones responsible for creating that Zerg. And now that is a whole other discussion on how to create Zergs and how to stop Zergs from hitting you. And I'll try to make it as simple as I can. You create Zergs by attacking where you should not, or by cutting off enemy fights, okay? So right now on Emmerich, open up your maps on Emmerich right now. You see we are almost touching the TR Warp Gate, right? We are almost touching the TR Warp Gate. Now let's say we pull to Platoon Waypoint, and then from there, Jagged Lance, we pulled south and cut it off Shadespire Farms. What do you guys think would happen?
Cut off the biolab at the bottom of the map, and all the fights are over.
The entire TR population, all of them, every single one of the TR would fall back to the Warp Gate at Platoon Waypoint, and they would start fighting you. And now if you have the entire population falling back to that base, a 96 plus would form up on Platoon Waypoint, and they would keep rolling over you non-stop, taking all of your bases. And even if you took all of your population there, it wouldn't be enough to stop them, because all of the TR population would be there. That is how you start a Zerg. If you cut off a biolab, if you warp gate someone, if you cut off an enemy big fight, that's how you start a Zerg. You should always try to avoid that. You should try as best as you can to avoid that. Now, how to stop an enemy Zerg is another conversation, because you're gonna need to try your best if you're gonna try to stop a Zerg. And I'd say the best way to do it is try to backcap. Because if you have a lot of randoms just pushing in a lattice, and they get to the next base and they're being backcapped, they're gonna, like, what am I gonna do now? I'm on point, but I can't cap it. So they're just gonna redeploy. So what do? You pull an armor column, try to stall them in the road if you can, stop their Sunders from spawning, and then you get your Delta squad, your Delta guys, you big dick guys, to go back to the base before them and try to get a route inside and back cap. That's how you try to stop a Zerg. And I'm saying here a simple way for you guys to stop it. It's not gonna work all the time, it's not gonna be efficient all the time, and most of the times it's actually not gonna work. It's gonna take you guys a lot of practice on learning how to stop an enemy Zerg, because that's one of the hardest things to do in PlanetSide 2, is how to crush a 96 plus that's rolling over you like a wave.
Orbital strikes out the ass.
That's how you do. Orbital strikes are also good.
Not necessarily, though. Backcapping is often effective to blow up a 96 plus Zerg.
Yeah. And if you are stuck against a Zerg that you know you're not going to be able to stop, there's a 96 plus rolling your way. There's nothing, absolutely nothing you can do to stop it. Your platoon is not as coordinated as you needed it to be to try a back cap or anything like that. the best thing you can do to stop that Zerg is not stopping it. Just let it plow through your territory until it reaches a base that you can actually defend. Like if you have your enemy prowling through your territory, wait until he reaches a base that you can actually have a fighting chance on. Bases like Quartz Ridge, bases like Split Peak. That is specifically why you need control of those bases in the beginning of the alert. Because if by any chance the enemy starts a Zerg, that is where you stop them dead. That's where you delay them. That's where you get time out of their push. That's how you try to fight them. If you see that there's no other way that you can stop them, you just delay them, avoid them for as long as you can, and when they hit a base in which you have a fighting chance, you stop them there. Bases with a power building, like that one that we did in the warp gate. You guys remember, right? The fat stairs, skinny stairs, and double doors. If you have a base like that in the way of an enemy Zerg, and you can get a router inside, one platoon can defend against 3 platoons inside that base. Like, no joke. If you get your entire platoon with engineers, medics, and mexes inside that building, on top of the stairs, with baby gates and engineering turrets, you can stop 3 platoons from coming in. Like, no joke, I've done it already. But if you don't have any bases like that in the way of the Zerg, just avoid it. Go do something else. Go cap other territories. Try to cut off the Zerg. Try to go behind it and cut their advance. That's my advice for you guys on that. And guys, I will open up for more questions here if you guys want to keep discussing it. But we will be wrapping up in a little bit here because we are almost hitting 2 hours, and I know most of you are already tired. My mouth is already hurting.
Wow, it's been 2 hours already?
Yeah, it's been almost 2 hours already.
Damn.
Yeah. So any more questions, guys?
No, I appreciate it. It's been really good.
We covered a great deal. Nice work, man.
Thanks, Orbi.
I have a technical question, not about platoon leading or anything, but about
Go ahead.
computer parts and stuff. In that tech plant, I was getting like 30 FPS.
Yeah, I'm getting low frames right now.
Yeah, I just wanted to test it, so I just joined combat in a band situation, and I'm getting like 100 FPS in this. That tech plant, it's only us.
I had the same situation.
I was wondering if that was just me.
I had that same situation at the warp gate, though.
Yeah.
You...
Tomato, we can try to address that later. If no one else has any more questions, I just want to wrap it up here, guys. I believe nobody left the platoon yet. So once again, no questions, guys. No one wants to ask anything about leadership, about your positions in SKL. How do you start the platoons?
I kinda joined late, so I'm going to watch the video first.
Yeah, no problem. You can catch it later. That's great that we recorded it. Quadstar. Just give it to Quadstar. Just give it to Quadstar. Yeah. Nice.
Gotta add that spice, right?
Hell yeah.
You gotta add a whole bunch of overdone sound effects.
Okay, now guys, just so we can wrap it up here, I just want to give you guys a couple of references, okay? So to start off, now a little... No, you can hit her, you can keep asking, man. There's no problem. Just let me try to wrap up here.
People are tired, yeah.
No, don't worry. I'm just gonna do my stuff here and we can keep talking. If you guys want to keep talking to me, I'm here all night, man. We can keep the conversation going. I just want to make sure that we are on our time here, and if people want to leave, they can
Well, let's
go.
all pile... Man on Amrish, I guess I should say. Let's all pile in on our Axis Firearm Corp right now.
A little
Let's go fix Ravens down there. It'll be a grand old time. We'll get a fight.
It's just optional. You guys can go do it if you want. But in your free time, when you guys are having lunch or doing whatever, go ahead and search on YouTube, try to watch a couple videos. One that I highly recommend you guys to watch is the Commander Sirius video. He's my favorite PlanetSide 2 YouTuber. If you guys are usually on YouTube, you probably know about him already. He's kind of the big guy in the community right now, the big content creator for PlanetSide 2. And he has a video that's kind of old, but not that much, specifically on winning alerts. And it's very, very awesome. Go watch that video if you guys can in your free time. It's a great video. He explains very well how to avoid the double teams, how to do cutoffs, what not to do during an alert, what bases not to cap. And he goes over all of the stronghold bases in all of the continents. He talks more in depth about Esamir as well, if you guys want to watch that. And on the Discord right now, and I want you guys, if you can, to pull up your Discord, because I'm going to list to you guys a couple of very important channels on the SKL Discord that I would like you guys to check out, because there's a lot of good information or platoon leading resources. Like, for example, you guys ever joined an SKL platoon and you saw that the platoon name in the squad description is a different color? Sometimes it's blue, sometimes it's green. All of those colors, they are codes that you can find in the SKL Discord for the platoons. So if you are opening up a new squad or a new platoon, you can grab that on Discord, copy and paste it in the squad description, and then you're gonna have a colored platoon name so that people know it's an official SKL platoon. All of those resources, plus a lot of videos from Sokar himself. We have charts on the hardest bases to cap for each continent, so you can learn which bases are hard, which ones are not. Plus the role requests, so you guys can get pinged on Discord. So here are the channels that I would like you guys to check out. So the first one is the rules channel for the SKL. You can find the basic rules for the outfit there, and I believe most of everyone never actually read the rules, the SKL rules. Then there is the role request one, where you can decide which pings you want to receive. If you are, for example, in a division, if you want to start participating more in a division, you can become a specialist from a division there, so you can get pinged when a division is going to run ops. Then there is useful information that is still up there. Useful information, there's a lot of nice stuff. Legion leadership is another good one for you to know who is the high-ranking officers, who you can go to. Then there is PL quick resources that's on the command channel. If you are a platoon leader 1 or above, you have access to those channels. If you are a platoon leader in-game, but you are not a platoon leader on Discord, ping one of the high-ranking officers so he can give you the role. Then there is Legion Improvement, Mentor Division, and Public Platoon Leadership, which are the 3 last ones. And those 3 are just a couple more resources to improve you guys, your guys' skills in the game. A couple of videos to complement your training, and just a couple more material if you guys want to look at it. Because I know it's kind of hard to find stuff for PlanetSide 2 if you don't know where to look for it. So I'm just going to give you guys a couple resources. Okay? So yeah, I guess that covers everything that I want to talk about. And yeah, I think that's all from me. Noah, do you have anything to add, man? Precisely.
I've got ammo for you here.
Yeah, you guys probably have been in platoons with me. right? You guys probably ran with me, or you guys probably ran with a good platoon leader. We are losing an alert. We are getting depressed. We are not making any progress. Let's pull off. Let's go build a mega base. Let's go do an air ball and take out the enemy bastion. It's gonna be fun.
Let's play Saving Private Orby.
Yeah, let's go play Saving Private Orby. Let's go do a harasser race, or let's do an armor column. You guys can find fun in the game if you are not winning. Just try to not get yourself burned off. Try to stay calm. Try to not get mad at the game. Because sometimes things are not going to go as planned. It's just how the game goes. As I said, you can plan like everything you can. You can play perfectly right. And in the end, NC and TR might still warp gate you, even if you are like last place in the alert. They might just be salty and they might have dumb leadership. And they're still going to do it to you anyway. So it's not always going to come to plan. It is fucking amazing, let me just say it right now, that we had this much people participating in a leadership training session. It's been many... Yeah, we're gonna win this one.
Do we have 27 minutes though? I mean...
We're losing Crux.
Not yet, but...
As I was saying, it's fucking amazing that you all stayed here for 2 hours. I cannot stress this enough. You guys sitted here and listened to me talking about leadership stuff for 2 hours, and that shows a level of... Yes, man. That shows a level of commitment to the game that I haven't seen in many years. Like, not gonna lie to you guys, I've been doing leadership training like since the beta, and it's been a long time since I've seen this much people interested in it. So
That's awesome.
I wish you guys good luck. I hope that you can practice as much as you can. Next time someone asks for a new platoon leader, you guys step up, okay? I want to start seeing people fighting for platoon leader instead of the crickets that we usually hear. Can anyone platoon lead for me? And then everybody goes silent.
Yeah.
I want to stop listening that and start listening to multiple people wanting to platoon lead. Okay? That's what we gotta have. I wish you all good luck, and you can all come look for me and Noah if you have any questions about leadership or SKL, or how anything works in the outfit or in the game. The mentor division is there specifically for that. And one last thing that I want to say, if you guys are actively looking for a role in SKL to take a position that's going to be more of a leadership position for you guys, we have several divisions that are without division heads right now. The armor division does not have a division head. The air division does not have a division head. So if you guys would like to start working with that, if you enjoy armor or if you enjoy air, we need people on those positions. And there are other ones as well that can use some help. And Hyperlight, also existing PLs can assist you when you're starting out. Just ask. Precisely, man. If you guys are doing platoon lead for the first time, I believe that most of you guys here probably already did it once or twice. But if you're doing it for the first time and you need some help, just look for us, guys. There are a lot of people in SKL willing to help. We are here to help you guys out. If you see me in any of the platoons, you can count on me to help you out. If you are having trouble with the strategy, where to go next, I can help you out.
Let me take a look.
Just send a direct message if you want to talk about it. And we're all here to help you guys out. I hope you all enjoyed the training. And I'm gonna ask one last thing of you guys before we finish it officially. I would like you all, it can be here in game or on Discord. On Discord would be easier for me and for everyone else. I would like you guys to send us feedback on the training session. Shoot me a DM on the Discord. I will send a message on the general chat so you can find me easier. My name is just OrbiManager's, same as here. Tell us what you guys thought we can improve on the training, what you guys thought we went too deep on that we could have left outside. You guys thought it was too long, it was too short. What should we have touched on more? Just give us whatever feedback you can so we can try to improve on the next one. And if you want to catch the video, Noah will send it to COSSTAR, and we will be sharing the link on the Discord as soon as we can. So if you guys want to go back to it and watch it again and try to get more information out of it, you guys are going to have that tool as well. So yeah, I guess that's it. From me, I officially end the first training session now, guys. You can now feel free to leave the platoon if you just want to go and do whatever you guys want. And if anyone has any questions left, if anyone would like to talk about anything else, I will be staying here so we can keep the conversation going. But for anyone that wants to just leave and go do something else, feel free to do so, guys. This is officially the end of the first training. Thank you all for participating, guys.
Thanks, Orbi. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
When are we getting our BFRs?
Jesus Christ.